out here with the CRKT Birler hatchet. This is from their Forged by War series. I was pretty impressed with this hatchet when I saw it down at SHOT Show 2016. Wanted to get one in hand. CRKT was kind enough to send one my way that I could play with. It's made of 1055 carbon steel with a hickory handle. Looks like it's stained and probably sealed, but I can't really tell just by looking at it. It's a really cool looking head to it. I like that you can choke up on it like this to do a little bit of work, as well as choke back like that to get lots of good swinging done. I will tell you this might ruin the review for you right now. If you look at that head, yeah, that's already loose. I have put this through a little bit of use already, mainly chopping up wood for campfires and so forth, and those campfires are primarily close to home or on car camping trips and things like that. So it certainly hasn't been out on a hike like I'm here on today. This is the first time I've had it out for something like this. However, that does kind of bother me that it's already a little bit loose in the head after just maybe, I don't know, a couple trips. The hatchet itself has an MSRP of 89 bucks. It'll come in a lot less than that when you buy it retail. The sheath has a retail or an MSRP of about 25 bucks. That'll probably be cheaper than that retail as well. The sheath is good. It fits in there really nicely. You can see how that works like that. It snaps over the top right here and snaps on from behind as well. Holds it pretty nice and securely. You've got two little slits in it for attaching that to your belt or strapping it onto your pack or something like that. It's a very cool design. I love that it's only around 10 ounces. We'll see if this is durable enough and if that head is going to be flying off today or not, given that little bit of loosey-goosey action we've got going on there. I'm not so sure. But we'll put it through its paces and just see what happens today. That sucker bites. Couple final thoughts about the CRKT Birler. Number one, the sheath is perfect. Can't complain about it in the least. I love that it fits on your belt like that, and I love that you can put it in and out while it's still on your belt. It's perfect. Get the sheath if you get the Birler. Next, let's talk about the Forged by War series from CRKT. It's a little bit of a misnomer. A lot of you guys seem to think, or might think, that Forged by War means these are all tools, weapons that belong on the battlefield. That's not necessarily the case. This axe, the Birler, designed by Elmer Rausch, I think I have his name correct.
Elmer Rausch.
Is a veteran. And so that's true of all the other tools and knives and whatnot that were all introduced in the Forged by War series. They're more or less an opportunity for veterans of all different ages and all different wars to offer up a really cool tool, a really useful tool in their mind, something that they might either wish they had on the battlefield or have learned since is a really good tool, to offer that up to us based on sort of their experience, whether it be, again, on the battlefield or in life since then. And I think that's great. So let's get into the design of the axe itself, talk about aspects of it that I like, as well as some that I may have criticisms for. Number one is that head, that little shaky head. You can see it there. I just wish it was locked in really solid. You can see it kind of coming up and dropping down. I don't like that. I think that's more or less a sign of quality assurance, not quite where it ought to be. I could also very easily drive a nail or something like that down in the top here, probably swell that out a little bit better and get the retention that I want. Aside from the fitting of the head to the handle, the only other criticism I have is the end of the handle, the butt of the handle right here. It's just too thin right here. I want a little bit of a swell right there, and I want this to hook up a little bit more to lock my hand in as I'm swinging. Now don't get me wrong, the looks are great. I love the way that hatchet looks. Beautiful, don't you think? But an axe doesn't get by on looks alone, right? It's got to do some hard work. It's got to feel good in your hand. It's got to lock in. It's got to be secure. And that's maybe the one complaint I have, one other complaint I have about this axe in general. I wish there was a little more of a swell right there. Short of that, the hickory seems very tough. You can see the grain going up and down the axe handle like it ought to, giving you maximum strength. The head itself is so cool looking. I love the shape of it. I love that I can comfortably get my hand up in here, actually chop in this fashion without ramming my knuckles into the front of the blade with every chop. You don't even have to be working on fire making for that to be a useful handhold. If you're making some camp tools, all types of camp tools or camp gadgets, this is going to be a really handy way to get a hold of your axe, because you can get in there and get that fine work done. You can see that on the back of the head we've got a nice flat face, which you can use as a hammer for pounding in your tent pegs or whatever else it is you need to do. Taking a look at the profile of that axe head, it seems like it's going to be a really good splitter. It's a good chopper as well, and I found that it chops wonderfully. It bites into my wood, no problem. And as I'm splitting and breaking apart kindling, it seems to do a fantastic job with that as well. So the edge itself, while maybe obtuse, is sharp enough, and then the geometry of that axe head is fantastic for getting hard work done. And there's a CRKT Birler. Now at some point I might try to work on the fitment of the head to the top of the handle. I might also add some tape to the bottom of the handle here so I've got a better grip as I'm swinging. Short of that, I think this thing is ready for camp, it's ready for backpacking, it's ready for a lot of different kinds of work. I like it a lot. I'm the Late Boy Scout, thanks for watching, we'll see you later. The standard chopping edge is also very good. It's got a nice obtuse angle to it as far as the blade edge is concerned, which is great. It's sharp but obtuse, so it's going to be tough, and it's going to do all the chopping you need for a great deal of time before you're going to need to sharpen this thing.